How to use laptop as a monitor for PC, desktop, or any other device. With this method, you do not need an HDMI or a video capture card. This formula has the lowest latency and is the best for even playing video games in real time. You can use your laptop alone as the main monitor for your PC, or you can go ahead and use it as a second monitor as well. All this can work between two laptops as well, using one laptop as the display and using the other as a second monitor or as the main display. Now, this formula does not use your data or your bandwidth. However, you're going to need either a hotspot, a Wi-Fi, or some kind of a router. Now, the best formula for me is just having an Ethernet cable. What you want to do is plug one of the ends of the Ethernet cable into your desktop and then the second end into your laptop. That's as much as you need to do. You don't need anything else. However, if you still prefer the hotspot route or you prefer the router and other stuff, that's also perfectly fine. If you do not have an Ethernet port, you could always have an Ethernet hub. You can buy one of these very cheap online. For those who do not want to use LAN, just make sure that both devices, the PC and the laptop, are connected to the same network, be it the hotspots, the Wi-Fi, or the router. How to install Apollo on PC. Now, this is the first and the most crucial step. You want to go ahead and click on any browser you have, and then go ahead and paste the link, or go ahead and click the link to Apollo down in the description and click enter. Great. Now, once on my site, you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on the link to the Apollo streaming download right here. Great. Now, once on this page, I don't know when you're watching this could be updated. However, just go ahead and pick the latest one and then go ahead and click on assets right below that. Now, once the assets goes ahead and loads, you want to go ahead and click on the Apollo, whatever version it is. Just make sure that it's the .exe file that you go ahead and download. Great. Now, once that is downloading, just go ahead and click on it and wait for it to load. Great. Now, because we're streaming and it's very sensitive, it's going to ask you this, but don't worry, just go ahead and click on more info and then click on run anyway. Now, just go ahead and click on yes and wait for that to load. Now, go ahead and click on next, click on I agree, click on next, click on next, click on install and wait. Now, without wasting much of your time, you can see that it's done. So just go ahead and click on finish. How to download virtual display drivers on PC. Now, for the second part, you need to go ahead and open a new tab and click on the link right in the description to get to the virtual display driver website. Now, once you've clicked on that, wait for it to load. Great. Now, once that loads up, just go ahead and scroll down all the way to the bottom like the first time and click on the virtual display driver download link. Once you've clicked on that, just wait for it to load. Great. Now, once you're here, you want to go ahead and scroll down. Now, once again, I don't know when you're watching this, but then as of now, the latest one is 25.7.23. Just go ahead and pick the latest one and scroll down and click on the assets drop down. Once you've clicked on that, go ahead and click on the vdd.control.zip file. Go ahead and click on the first one and wait for that to finish downloading. Great. Now, once this is downloading, just go ahead and click on the downloaded file. Now, some of you can use WinRAR to extract this. However, I'm just going to go ahead and double click on the vdd.control.exe, and then it's going to ask me to extract all here, so I'm going to extract it right now. Now, you need to extract this. If you do not extract this, it's going to give you an error when you run the installation of the driver. So go ahead and click on extract, and once you're done extracting, you can then go ahead and click on the vdd.control.exe. At this point, you're going to see that the icon shows properly. So I'm going to double click this and wait for it to finish loading. Now, you're exactly in the right place. If you see the screen, don't be frightened. It's not complicated. All you need to go ahead and do is click on install driver at the bottom right here. Now, because I've already installed it, I don't need to click on it, but once you click on install driver, it's just going to run the installation of the driver and everything should be set. On the PC of your choice or laptop of your choice or mobile device or any gadget of your choice, just go ahead and open the browser and go ahead and copy the link or click on the link that I put in the description for Moonlight and hit enter right away. Great. Now, once on my site, go ahead and scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and click on the Moonlight streaming download at the bottom. Great. Now, once on this site, you can see that Moonlight is right here. You want to go up to the top bar and click on the client download. Now, once you've clicked on client download, you're going to see that it gives you a plethora of options. It gives you Windows, iOS. Now, you can see that Moonlight can be used as a client for so many devices. So this means that any device you have can serve as a second monitor for your main PC or your main desktop. Now, once this is here, go ahead and click on Windows or Mac OS or whatever PC you have at the top right here. Great. Now, I don't know what time you're watching this video, but as of now, the latest is version 6.1.0. Just go ahead and install the latest one you see on your screen, but go ahead and click on Windows installer for whatever version it is. Great. Once the installation is done, just go ahead and click on the installation and then go ahead and click on moonlight setup.exe. Now, once here, you just go ahead and click on I agree to the license terms and conditions and click on agree for everything you see. Smooth. Now, once you're done, you can click on launch and then wait for it to launch. If it doesn't launch by itself, you can also go ahead and open it on the Windows taskbar or the Windows side. Now, as you can see here, I've clicked on this, but I can go ahead and close this as well. And I can go ahead and open this from the Windows taskbar by just typing in Moonlight and then just going ahead and clicking on Moonlight right here. Now you can just connect an Ethernet cable between two devices. You can use your mobile hotspot. Now once both PCs are connected to the same network or connected via Ethernet, you should be able to see this. Now HDMIs don't work just yet because they do not transfer data like an Ethernet cable. However, if you see this PC and you see a lock here on the right pack, you can just go ahead and extend this, and then you want to go ahead and click on the locked PC right here. Now it's going to give you a code. It says please enter 9757. Now what you want to do is memorize this code or write it down, and then we are going to go back to the previous PC or the host PC that we were working on. Just to clear things up as well, if you go ahead and click on the PC and you get a code, and let's say you get an error or you clicked on cancel, you can just go ahead, yes, just like you see here, connection closed, you can just go ahead and click on it again and it will give you a new code. Just leave it on the new code and go ahead and type in the code on your PC. Now when you're back on the host PC, you want to go ahead and click on the Windows bar, and then you want to go ahead and type in Apollo basically, and then go ahead and click on Apollo. Now as you can see, Apollo loads up right here and it gives us some kind of private message. Now once again, because it's streaming and it's private and you are the one hosting it, it's always going to give you this not secure stuff, but do not be afraid. Just click on advanced and click on continue to localhost. Now this is no means connected to the internet, and so whatever you do is on your local private network or just between the two PCs or two devices that you're using. Now once you log in, it's ask you to go ahead and get a username and a password. Now I'm going to make mine as basic as possible because the only two people that know are between my PCs and no one else. Something as simple as root should do it for me, and then I'm going to make my password also root or something very basic, maybe root1 or just a private password that I use. If you want to be secure or you're just not the only one using your laptop, you can go ahead and make your password something strong, but just make sure that you remember it every time. If you happen to not remember it, you might have to delete the whole app and get it back again. So I'm going to go ahead and click on login and everything should be smooth. Great. So I'm going to click on remember password so that I don't have to keep retyping this, and I'm going to go ahead and click on log in. Great. Now once you're going to be given this welcome screen, you can go ahead and click on configuration, and then later on you can go ahead and adjust some stuff here if you want to, but this is not important now. What is important is going to applications, and once you're in applications, you're going to see desktop and you're going to see Steam Big Picture. Now Steam Big Picture just means that it's going to launch you into Steam if you have Steam on your PC, and desktop just means that it's going to launch you into a normal desktop without having a second screen. Now what you want to do on this screen is go ahead and click on add new, and then you want to go ahead and change this name to probably something like virtual display. I have virtual here, so I'm going to click on virtual display, and then once you've clicked on that, you're going to go all the way and scroll down, and then once you're going to see something called always create virtual display. You want to go ahead and check this, and then you want to go ahead and click on save to save this file. Great. Now once you're done saving, you're 100% through with what we need to do. Now you need to go all the way back to pen, and then just like the pen that you were given, you want to go ahead and change this from OTP parent to pen parent. Once you change it, it should change the interface as well. Go to pen parent, and then you want to go ahead and type the pen that you were given. And so let's go back and check the pen we were given. I think it was my pen changed to 1484, and then I can go ahead and give my device a name. Let's say maybe laptop, or let's say YouTube. And then I can just go ahead and click on send, and then it's going to pair my PC with the laptop that I have. And so once you're done with this, we're going to move back to a second PC to check up on it. Great. Now once you've done these things as well, there's one thing I forgot to tell you guys, that when you do this, you can go ahead and click on permissions. Let's say for YouTube, I click on permissions, and then you want to go ahead and click on all these. Make sure that they're checked so that they can get the full permission to use your mouse and use everything. Same thing for any device that you add or keep the pen added. For now, I have YouTube connected. I also have another PC of mine connected. I'm just going to go ahead and click on all these until every single one of them are green, and then it gives me all the devices, or gives me the advantage to be able to do anything I want to do with these ones. I click OK, and that's perfectly fine. What we want to do is click Ctrl Shift Escape to go to a task manager, and once in task manager, you want to go ahead and click on start up, or the startup apps. Once you're here, you want to go ahead and look for Apollo, and then whenever your PC starts, you can go ahead and either manually start Apollo, or you can go ahead and put this on automatic start, but I'm just going to leave this for you to do on your personal time or on your own. Now once that is done, or we are done pairing, you don't need to keep this tab open. You can go ahead and cancel out of this, and then you can see that everything works perfectly fine, like we saw previously, or like we saw back there. Great. Now once we're done on that on our main PC, now if you're having Apollo on your PC, you can just go ahead and close the browser, or you can go ahead and close it. It does not matter. but just make sure that it's in the right hand side of your screen, or it is still at the right hand side launched and seen there. Great. Now once you've done that, you're going to see that the unlock sign is gone, and then you can go ahead and click on this. Now I'm going to enlarge this and I'm going to click on the settings sign. Now in the settings, there are 2 crucial settings that you need to take note of. The rest of them you can just play around with them to see which one works best for you. Now the first thing is that if you're using this as just a second screen for laptop, desktop stuff, no gaming, you can just go ahead and click on optimize mouse for remote desktop instead of gaming. If you don't want to use it for gaming, you can do this. If you want to use it for gaming, disable this. However, if you come to the left hand side, you can see the basic settings as well. Go ahead and change this to 1080p or whatever your resolution is, and then you can change this from 60 fps to 30, or you can make it bigger. Now my PC is 144, so I'm going to keep it on 144, and I'm going to click on OK right here. Now once you're done with those things, you can also go ahead and change the bitrate. Now the higher the bitrate, the higher the quality. The lower the bitrate, the lower the quality. However, the lower the bitrate, the lower the latency. That means that you'll be seeing things in absolutely real time. Now I like to keep mine on 56 when using my Ethernet cable. I can go all the way to about 150 at very good latency. However, you can decide what you want to put yours on depending on what you want to do with it. 56 has been my sweet spot. I've gone up to 58 and I've not seen any problems like that. Now you want to go ahead and turn off VSync if you don't want VSync. You can just play around with that and see which one works best for you. And then once you're done with those crucial steps, you want to go all the way down here, and you can see video encoder and video codecs. Now if you have hardware encoding, like force hardware encoding, that is always better than software encoding. And also if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can keep this on HEVC. If you have Radeon, you can also go ahead and put this on the appropriate one. However, you can also leave this on auto recommended if you don't mind, or if you don't have any of that. If you don't have hardware encoding, you can just use software encoding. That's also perfectly fine. So I'm going to change these settings, and I'm going to go back and then log back into my PC from this side. And so this is my main PC, and then this is the 144 Hz laptop I'm using. And so you can see that the mouse is moving smoothly between them, low latency, no problems. Now in my case, that I'm using the LAN cable to connect from my laptop to my PC, what I normally do is that I turn off the Wi-Fi on my laptop because I wouldn't be using it for anything. And sometimes when you do not turn this off, it would be using the Wi-Fi instead of the Ethernet cable, and it might be just a little bit slower, but it's still manageable if you're not playing any video games or anything else. That's just a word of advice. Now one last thing you need to go ahead and do is go ahead and go into your settings, and once in settings, you want to go ahead and click on system. Once you click on system, click on display. And then because we had the virtual driver installed, you can scroll the way down and click on advanced display. Once you click on advanced display, you can go ahead and click on display, and it's going to give you display 1, and display 2 is the virtual display driver that we installed. Now with mine, I kept it on 144 because that's where my head's at, but you can keep this on 90. You can keep this on anything that you feel comfortable using it for. So mine is on 144. Whenever I'm doing any kind of virtual display that is extended, it's going to be in 144 Hz. That means that I can play other games on my PC without having to worry about not having the full heads on there. The latency is low, and I've had very good gameplay with this very setup. Now basically, this is how you can use a laptop, PC, any other mobile device, or anything to get a second monitor on your PC. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like, subscribe, and bell button, and come join my Discord down in the description if you happen to face a problem. With that said, it's your boy GD7, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.